Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Farthest Times Fireside Chat Season 17. My name is Cezar Williams, and I am the producing artistic director of the Farthest Time Festival. And it is my honor to welcome to the fireside Naomi Lorrain, whose play DNR will be featured in Season 17 at the world famous Apollo Theater. Welcome, Naomi. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm so happy to be here.
We are so honored to have you and your play DNR in the festival. Why don't we just jump off and just tell us about your play DNR?
The play is about two cousins, Nicole and Solomon, Nikki, and they've been estranged for a number of years. And Nikki comes back into Solomon's life to address a family matter
That's right.
that's been going on for about 5 years pertaining to his mother. And she's offering some solutions that he never asked for and to a problem he wasn't aware it was a problem in the first place. And it's really about, family trying to reconnect. It's about forgiveness, and it's about kind of different forms of faith, and also like the difficulties of reconnecting with family, especially after some significant time apart.
Yeah, I feel like this play is so perfectly timed and situated in that I think so many of us are going through many of the things that you talked about the play. One is maybe it's because of the pandemic or people moving, but it does feel like families have kind of split apart a little bit geographically and sometimes even emotionally. And we're all trying to find a way to reconnect in this new world. At least I'm at an age now where we're dealing with difficult decisions about our families, and the question of faith always comes up. It's just a really complex and heartwarming story in 10 minutes. So congratulations is all I can say.
Thank you. Thank you. You had to kind of really pack it in there. So,
Yeah, you did a wonderful job, and I'm trying to. It is a very difficult play to talk about. I don't want to give anything away for the audience, for those that come here. So I'm gonna move on from that, and just I hope that the people who are watching just trust me when I say the play is powerful. It is right on time. It is food for your soul, and the
that's
ending really moved me in a very powerful way. Let me ask you, how did you hear about the Fire This Time Festival?
Oh my goodness. I've known about you all for like a decade, like not more. Because I'm an actor and a playwright. I've worked with you all as an actor. And I have a number of friends who worked as actors and friends who are playwrights. So big fan of the festival, decade long supporter of giving my artistry and also receiving, the work of the beautiful artists that you all select and produce. And I just love it. Yeah.
Yeah, thought so. Did you have any feelings when you found out that the festival this season was going to be moving to the Apollo?
Oh, I was excited. First of all, I live 6 blocks from the Apollo.
Perfect.
It's in my backyard. And I'm a big fan of the Apollo. Like I undergrad at Yale, I studied African American studies, and my professor Lori Woodard brought us to Schomburg, brought us to Harlem, like during my time there, and I kind of fell in love with Harlem literary, kind of through that literary lens, the Harlem Renaissance, and then just historically when I got here and went to the Apollo, they've also like renovated, like it's amazing and
Amazing it is.
a perfect venue for our community right in our backyard, in our community for us, by us. And I really support that. So when I saw that it was at the Apollo, I was very excited. I'm gonna tell my mom because she's older, and I think she's gonna fly up for it
Oh,
because she's in the South. And when she hears that it's at the Apollo, I think she'll also get a big kick out of that because we used to watch it, growing up.
yep.
And
But the play does deal a lot with family, so I'm curious, what made you write DNR?
oh my goodness, I mean, you know, I kind of try to start with self, and like art and humor is my MO. So I really think that comedy and like laughter allows people to let their guard down and be more vulnerable, and then hit them with some truth, you
Hmm.
know, with some empathy, and I think they're more able to receive it. So with this, I just went back into the history of my life and of my family. And, I love them, and we are very different people. And what I'm not even struggling with, what I continue to strive for is understanding and empathy for, family we have different point of views, we have different ways of life, and different religious and spiritual backgrounds and beliefs. I think, like you said, this is a timely piece, because of the pandemic, because of politics, I think because of just where we are as a society. I was raised an only child, but I have, brothers and sisters from my dad's side, and I'm close to them now. But family for me has always been a journey of understanding. I was always just so different from the people I grew up with. And I'm an artist, so that kind of happens to us in the family. And though my family appreciates the arts, they come from more of a scientific background, and they're patrons of the arts, but they're not participants in the arts, And so I think I was a conundrum to them, and moving up north and having the thoughts and the dreams that I do, I think sometimes there can be an impasse. And so I can stay away more than I, want to, but it feels like I'm somehow like preserving some part of myself, or, preserving some part of them. Yes. I am a queer Black woman, from the South, raised in a very specific way. And I want to understand them, and I want them to understand me. And I think that sometimes you can stay away in hopes to just like keep the peace. But the play originated from, I was very close to my cousins and family kind of growing up. And as time passes, as we go to college and grad school and start families, like how you spend the holidays can be different, what you talk about at the dinner table, kind of like how you live your life. It just originated with me wondering what it would take to kind of heal some wounds in my own family. And really like examine faith. And even though I think it looks different for me compared to some members of my family, that at its center, it's the same. There's more that brings us together than divides us, I think, especially in my family. And so it's an attempt to kind of reveal that and invite more conversation and invite healing.
Where are you from?
Oh, this question. I always do the same thing when I get it, because no one is from where I'm from, usually. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
So every time I say it up here, people are like, oh, wow, they don't know anyone from there. But now we have like a few more people, like Celeste is also a Little Rock playwright, Freddie, Little Rock actor. Like, I'm meeting more of my own now, but back in the day, just be like, who? You and Bill Clinton.
You and Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
That was it.
And I have mixed feelings about Arkansas. But, home can be complicated.
Home can be complicated.
For me, with my family, what I try to say, which I think they think I'm probably crazy, is like, theater is my church. My spiritual practice. The non-judgmental mindset is like what my practice. Hope and optimism is my discipline. Like, they're like, what are you doing?
And living out your purpose.
Yes, truly. If I don't know anything, I do know my purpose in life. Because I do know it, I must pursue it. And I understand so many friends and family members who like don't know what they want to do, but I do. I know exactly why I think I was put here, and things I need to say, and the vessel that this body can be to art, and to the artistic values, my voice and my vessel, like that's my purpose. And I think that sometimes, to a more traditional person mindset, occupation having individual, I think that's just like, wait, but do you go to church on Sunday? Where's your church home? I was like, it's here.
Yes. Were you always a creative? Were you always an artist? Is that something you always wanted to be?
I've always been a creative, and I think I've always been an artist, but I've always loved science. And like I told you, my parents are in the medical profession. My brother's an OBGYN, and like I was pre-med when all of it, high school and then college. But then college is where I made that academic shift into artistry, like kind of focusing academically or focusing like artistically on, training and what I would need to do, moving to New York and, writing plays, which I think was hard for my mom, honestly, but she always knew that I was an artist. In fact, she had this book that she sent me a picture of when I was 4, and where it says what I want to be when I grow up. Doctor was actually crossed out, the D and O, like erased, and it said actor,
I always like to ask this question of folks. If you had a time machine and you could go back to yourself at 7, 8 years old, what would you say to yourself?
Nay, this is one part of the world, but it's not the world. And I encourage you to explore the world and understand that what you feel like are differences here is just, it's just who you are. And there's nothing wrong with that. And like what you feel inside about like who you are, queer or artist or whatever, there are so many other people who also identify in that way. And there are families that look different than yours, or families that you've seen and they're still strong. And like, I would literally tell Nay that don't worry about a broken family, because it was just my mom and I, but like, don't let that hinder you or make you feel less than in any way. It's just a different family. Families can look different and they can still be strong and like warm and safe.
Yes. Well, if folks wanted to know more about what you're doing or connect with you, what would be the best way or ways to do that?
Probably my Instagram, though I must say, I do despise social media. We don't get along for my spiritual health sometimes. I find myself too much time and like scrolling and comparing. Like, I just want to stay centered. I do promote like my work on it mostly. I have a website, but I usually Instagram, you can probably know what I'm doing more professionally.
Okay. And what is your handle?
Oh, it's at Naomi Lorrain. Just Monday.
Well, Naomi, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. And I want to thank everyone who's watching. Thank you so much for supporting the Fire this time. I ask you to please come out, check out Naomi's play as well as the 5 other playwrights who will be featured in this season's festival, which opens January 23rd and goes through January 31st at the world famous Apollo Theater. Get your tickets now. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.